Hi everyone, I'm Lewis and welcome to Lewis's Football Man. Today's video I'll be talking about all the players who swapped Europe for Saudi Arabia and deciding if it was the right decision or not. Saudi Arabia this summer has dominated the transfer window. They have signed top European players for top salaries. Today I'm going to talk about all the top players who have decided to join the Saudi Pro League and decide if it was the right decision or not. I'm not going to use the factor of salary, but I am going to do other factors including age, what club they were at, potential and more. So let's start with the person who started this Saudi Pro League revolution on December 30th, 2022. I'm talking about one of the greatest players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. After him and Manchester United part ways, Cristiano Ronaldo decided to join Al Nassr. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest players of all time and has won many trophies, including several Champions Leagues, La Ligas, European Championships with Portugal, and more. So, in my opinion, this one shocked the world at the time. A lot of criticism he got, but everyone's doing it now. Cristiano Ronaldo is still one of the best strikers in the world, in my opinion, and he will go down as one of the greatest of all time. But this one is interesting. In the end, I think it's the right decision. I think he's done very well for Al Nassr. He's made a big impact for them, and I think it was the right decision. Obviously, big money, but yeah, I think some negatives. He is still one of the best players in the world. I still think he could play in Europe. I still think he could be in a top Champions League club, but obviously after Manchester United, he decided to join Saudi Arabia. So some positive, obviously start the revolution. He is 38 years old, so he probably is near the end of his career. So for Cristiano Ronaldo, I think it was the right decision in the end. So let's move on to Karim Benzema, who joined Al Ittihad this summer. He's 35 years old. He's Real Madrid's second all-time leading goal scorer, after, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. For me, I don't think he should have joined yet. I think he's still a top striker, and I think he still had a good few years left in Europe. Even if it wasn't at Real Madrid, I think he's still good enough to play at the top level of European football. But obviously, this is their decision. I'm not criticising their decision. I'm just talking about factors where they could have stayed and they could have gone. But yeah, anyway, Karim Benzema, positives, yeah, 35 years old, still got a few years left in my opinion, but yeah, near the end of his career, but who knows, he might have 3 to 4 years left. Negatives, yeah, he still had a lot off at Real Madrid in my opinion. I thought he was brilliant for Real Madrid, especially when they went on to win Champions League in 2022. So yeah, I think he could have stayed a bit longer, even if he didn't stay at Real Madrid. I think he could have stayed at a European club. But I don't think Karim Benzema should join Saudi Arabia. Maybe in 1 or 2 years, but at the minute I still think he's got a lot to offer in Europe. So next up is Kalidou Koulibaly. 2019, he was considered one of the best centre backs in Europe alongside Virgil van Dijk. But all went wrong, and I think, in my opinion, he should have moved earlier. Obviously, he moved to Chelsea just last summer. And the second he moved, Napoli replaced him with Kim Min-jae, and Napoli won their first Scudetto in over 30 years. So yeah, it doesn't really look good. I think Koulibaly could have played at a top club a few years ago. I think he's a very good centre back, but it just didn't work out for him. Maybe he could give it another year at Chelsea, maybe another year in Europe, but I think it's still a bit too early for him. I still think he's a very good centre back. Even if he didn't join a top European club but stayed in Europe, I think he could have got his career a bit back on track. But yeah, it just didn't work out at Chelsea for him. So he joined Al Hilal. He's 32 years old. Obviously, yeah, last season he was at Chelsea. I don't really have any positives about this move. Obviously, just really a fresh start for him. Away from Chelsea. Chelsea get money in the door, so you can just spend whatever they like in the end. So negatives, yeah, he didn't prove himself at Chelsea. I think he had a lot of potential. Obviously, he is older now. I still think he should join the top European club a few years ago. Not that Napoli on the top European club, but a club where he could have went for the Champions League. So yeah, and was one of the best centre backs in 2019. So in my opinion, I don't think this is a good move, but good luck to Koulibaly, and hopefully he will be back in Europe in a year or so. Next up, Edouard Mendy. A few years ago, he was unemployed. Then he was in League Two, League Deux, and then he went on to win the Champions League with Chelsea a few years later. So Edouard Mendy has done fantastic in his career. I still think he's a good goalkeeper. Maybe not a top goalkeeper, but I think that he still had a little bit more off in Europe. But I completely understand why he's joined the Saudi Pro League because of where he was a few years ago. So yeah, I think I went for the right decision here, and I think he made the right decision. He is 31 now. He joined Al Ahly, and yeah, in 2017 he was at Rennes B, and a few years later I went out winning Champions League with Chelsea. So I think he's done very, very well in his career. Some positives, unemployed a few years ago, won the Champions League, and negatives, he's still a good goalkeeper. But who knows? I can't see him come back to Europe, but who knows? He might go back to France, he might go back to Senegal eventually. But I think he's a good goalkeeper. Good luck to him. Next up is Serge Milinkovic-Savic. This one frustrates me. Serge Milinkovic-Savic. He's 28 years old. He should have joined the top European club a few years ago. I still think he's a very good midfielder. Definitely good enough for Europe. Definitely got a good few years left in him. So this one is really frustrating to see such a good midfielder go to Saudi Arabia at a good age. But I don't know, again, if he is just going over there for a year to gain some money and come back, or he just wants to stay there. I don't know. But yeah, it might be family reasons, who knows. But Serge Milinkovic-Savic as a player is definitely good enough to play at a good European club. So yeah, he joined Al Hilal. He was at Lazio for 8 years, and yeah, he should join the bad club. And in my opinion, it is a bad decision. But yeah. Next up is Marcelo Brozovic. Helped Croatia finish second in the World Cup in 2018 in Russia, and third in the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. He is a Croatian international with many caps, and he joined Al Nassr with Cristiano Ronaldo. And yeah, he was at 8 years he was in there for 8 years, and again, this one is really, really confusing why he joined. It's definitely good enough for a European club. Could have went to a club maybe better than Inter, maybe in a different league, a bigger club than Inter. And a player who finished 8th in the UEFA Men's Player of the Year should not be coming to Saudi Arabia at 30 years old, in my opinion. I still think he's got a lot of offer in Europe, but again, who knows if he's going for a year. Hopefully he is just going for a year, come back, because he's a very good player. So yeah, Marcelo Brozovic obviously helped Inter finish runners up in the Champions League 2023. Just lost to Manchester City in the final in Istanbul. So yeah, this one, it's frustrating when you see top midfielders, top players in general go to Saudi Arabia at a good age. So the next one is Roberto Firmino, one of my favourite ever Liverpool players. Joined Liverpool in 2015, won everything at Liverpool, and was one of Jurgen Klopp's first signings. He is 31 years old, and he joined Al Ahly. So yeah, Roberto Firmino, absolutely love him, and I wish him the best. I think he deserves all the money he's getting. I think he's a fantastic gentleman, fantastic servant for Liverpool Football Club. He's been one of the best strikers we've had in recent times. So yeah, he made a massive impact at our football club. But I still think he could have played in Europe. 31, definitely got a few years left in Europe. Definitely good enough to play at a top European club. It makes a massive impact, even though it doesn't look like it. When you watch him on the pitch, season after season, you watch him, and that's why Mo Salah, Sadio Mane scored so many goals in that attack, because of Roberto Firmino and what he did at the club. So he's definitely an underrated player for me. He wasn't with Barcelona and Real Madrid, but obviously those rumours have passed. And yeah, good luck to Roberto Firmino. Still one of my favourite Liverpool players, and everyone at Liverpool Football Club loves Roberto Firmino and knows well. Next one is John Henson, who joined Liverpool in 2011, won everything at Liverpool, and replaced Steven Gerrard as captain in 2015 after he retired. And John Henson, yet again, what a servant at the football club. He's been fantastic. You know, he did so much on the pitch. His leadership was the main attribute he had, and he lifted everyone at Liverpool. And obviously the Hendo Shuffle, when we lifted so many trophies in the Klopp dynasty time. So yeah, hopefully those times will come back for Liverpool under Klopp. But yeah, John Henson won't be there to lift any more trophies for Liverpool. Good luck to him. He's joined Steven Gerrard in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, good luck to John Henson. Again, one of my favourite Liverpool players, and everyone at Liverpool Football Club loves John Henson. But also, it was controversial, especially John Henson's relationship with the Liverpool fans who were part of the LGBTQ plus community group. Obviously, he wore captain's armband with the gay pride stripes, gay pride rainbow flag. So yeah, it's controversial, but obviously I know his mum. He was my PE teacher in primary, so she'll be happy. He's getting a lot of money. He is now the most paid Englishman of all time by quite a big margin. So yeah, John Henson, good luck to you. Next up is Alan St-Maximin, 26 years old, joined Al Ali. I think he's registered he left Newcastle, in my opinion, because Newcastle are like shifting forward. They're in the Champions League now. They're building up the table, and I just didn't think Alan St-Maximin had a big part in that future at Newcastle. You know, obviously a lot of Newcastle fans are sad to see him go. But yeah, this is a player who I think has a lot of talent, one of the best dribblers I've ever seen in recent times. Alan St-Maximin, I definitely think he's good enough for Europe. Not a top European club again, but definitely a club where they're in Europe, competing for Europe, Premier League, maybe. He had injury problems, of course, but a lot of players have injury problems. So yeah, I don't know if he is just going over there for a year or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, not part of Newcastle's plans. Joined Newcastle a few years ago from Nice. I think he has been good for Newcastle, but he's not in their plans for the future. Yeah, next up is Moussa Dembele, who also joined Steven Gerrard in Saudi Arabia, 27 years old. Was at Celtic a few years ago, scored many goals there when Brendan Rodgers' first reign as Celtic manager happened. So yeah, another player who I think definitely has a lot to offer still in Europe. Again, who knows if he's just going for a year? Who knows how long these players are going to be staying in Europe? If they will retire there or not. But yeah, Moussa Dembele is still a very good striker, I think. Yeah, I think he is good enough for Premier League. Maybe not top 6, but maybe a top 10 club in the Premier League. Maybe like Brentford or something like that could sign him, but obviously not, because he just went to Saudi Arabia, Steven Gerrard. Maybe in the future, who knows? He might come back in a year. He might stay there for 5. Who knows? But yeah, Moussa Dembele, again, I don't agree with this one at all. Next one is Seko Fofana. This one is really confusing because he's captain at Aussie Lens. He was. He guided Lens to the Champions League. They were just 1 point off the league on title last season. And just Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, but you'd rather play in the Champions League than go to Saudi Pro League, in my opinion. Especially where Lens were a few years ago, and captain as well. Imagine being captain, walking your team out in the Champions League night at home. That's just like, they're the dreams. They're the dreams that players have. But obviously not for him. He is 28, and he joined Al Nassr, and yeah, I still think he should have stayed for Champions League football, and I think he's good enough for Europe. But who knows? Who knows if he'll stay for long or not? But yeah, that one is confusing, especially Lens finishing second, just 1 point of Paris Saint-Germain and Champions League football this season. But good luck to Lens and good luck to Fofana in Saudi Arabia. So next up is Alex Telles, who had a failed time Manchester United, never made an impact at all. He's 30 years old. He was very good at Porto, wanted by some really good European clubs, but Manchester United got him a few years ago, and it just hasn't worked out for him from 2020 to 2023. Just obviously spent a bit last year on loan at Sevilla. And I think this is the right move for him. You know, I don't think he has a lot to offer at a top European football club at all. Still a decent player, but I think this is the right decision in my opinion. So I don't have much to say about Alex Telles. Next up is Malcolm, and this one, Malcolm is one of my favourite players who doesn't play in a top 5 European league. A few years ago, he was a young player at Bordeaux, massive potential, joined Barcelona, didn't work out, went to Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia, all the clubs. And then I thought, come on, he's leaving Zenit, he's coming back to Europe, get his career back on track. He is a good player. He's joined Al Hilal for £52 million, which is a lot for a player who flopped at Barcelona and been playing in Russia for the last few years. So yeah, a player who's definitely too good for Saudi Arabia, and he's only 26 as well. So much potential left in Malcolm, but it's just frustrating when you see a really good player just not make the right decisions, just didn't work out Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona was too big at the time. Maybe he is good enough for Barcelona, but he just joined when he's too young. He should have just stayed at Bordeaux and maybe joined maybe a mid-table French team and then built his career up from there. But obviously Barcelona is very tempting. But yeah, this one's very frustrating. I think it's 100% the wrong decision for Malcolm. Next up is N'Golo Kante, won the Premier League at Leicester in 2016, that fairy tale season. And then won a year later at Chelsea in 2017, won the Champions League as well in 2021 against Manchester City in Porto. So yeah, N'Golo Kante deserves this, very nice guy. He joined Al Ittihad alongside Karim Benzema. So yeah, I think this is the right decision. He is 32, sorry. He's had a lot of injuries lately. He's definitely good enough still to play in Europe, but it just depends how fit he is, really. But yeah, I think this is the right move. Good luck to N'Golo Kante. I think he's had a very good career and made a big impact in the Premier League for the clubs he played for. So next up is Ruben Neves, and this one, Ruben Neves is good enough to play in the Premier League, and he should have left Wolves a few years ago. He should just not stayed at Wolves. He's just too good. He was just too good. I don't think he had the right attitude at times, but it is confusing. It's just confusing why these players are joining Saudi Arabia, but won the championship was in 2018, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. He joined Al Hilal. I still think he should stay in Premier League, but not Wolves, and he should have left Wolves a few years ago. Big teams were lurking in at the time, but he should have stayed in the Premier League. And even at Wolves will miss him a lot. So next up is the youngest player on my list here today. I've got a list in front of us of just facts about players, the age, etc., trophies, etc. It's Jota. Not Diego Jota, but Celtic Jota, I like to call him. 24 years of age. I think this guy was good enough to play in Premier League. I think he should have joined a Premier League club. Not a top Premier League club, no. Maybe a mid-table Premier League club. And build up from there, but no, I don't agree with this one at all. But he was at Benfica and Celtic, and he moved for £25 million to Al Ittihad. Yeah, 2 words, too young. He is too young, but you know, money is tempting at times, especially from Saudi Arabia. How much money he's probably getting, I don't know exactly how much money he's getting, but you think it's a lot of money. So yeah, hopefully he just stays for a year. He's got so much left to give in Europe, and yeah, this is probably one of the worst ones in my opinion. This next one is Fabinho, another player of Liverpool's. 29 years old. He joined Liverpool from Monaco in 2018. After a successful spell at Monaco, won League One at Monaco, got them to Champions League semi-final, and was part of that team including Kylian Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, etc. So yeah, Fabinho 29. I think Liverpool was passing him. I still think he's a very good central defensive midfielder. I think a few years ago he was one of the best in the world. I still think he is a very good midfielder. I definitely think he's good enough for top European club. But 29, it's still quite young to go to Saudi Arabia, but I don't think this one is just going to be for a year. I can see him there for a good few years. And there was a viral clip the other day. A Saudi Arabian journalist gives Fabinho a Rolex after a brilliant display in his first Saudi Arabian match. I'm like, wow, that's just like a Rolex is like £1 to them. It's like mental how much money is involved. And then he dropped it. He dropped it and just picked it up and walked off. Like, what is going on? But yeah, Fabinho, he signed a contract with Al Ittihad until 2026. So yeah, 3-4 years I can see him there in Saudi Arabia. Next up is Riyad Mahrez. Recently won Champions League Manchester City and the treble. Won Premier League at Leicester, and he won 4 other Premier League titles in Manchester City, so 5 Premier Leagues in total. And he joined Al Ahly. So Riyad Mahrez is a very good player. Very, very talented good player. One of the best first touches in European football. Again, I think he is still good enough to play in Europe. I think it was the right time for him to leave Manchester City. Obviously, he just won the treble. What a way to say goodbye. What a way to bow down and leave. But yeah, I actually do agree with this one. Actually, I think he's at a decent age. He's went from win the league at Leicester to win everything at Manchester City, and I do agree with this one. So Riyad Mahrez, yep, right decision in my opinion. Now Frank Kessie, 1 year Barcelona, just did not work out. Did it? Brilliant with AC Milan, won the Scudetto a few years ago with them, and yeah, he was only Barca for a year. I still think it was a bad decision him joining Barcelona. How stacked their midfield is, including Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Gavi, Busquets was there last year. You know, like you're not getting into that midfield often. So yeah, only 26 years old. I think he should have stayed at Milan, or a year ago, or he could have like moved to another European club because where he was guaranteed starter. Because a lot of European clubs here are guaranteed starter, but not Barcelona, especially with the midfield they have. So yeah, really worrying to see a very talented 26-year-old go to Al Ahly. But yeah, I don't agree with this one. I think it's a bad decision. But yeah, next one is the big one. The recent one, Neymar. Neymar has joined Al Hilal, came 10th in the Ballon d'Or in 2011. All of us were looking at this kid when he finished 10th, and we were thinking this guy could be better than Ronaldo, could be better than Messi, but it just didn't work out. Won Champions League in 2015, part of that famous MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. Yeah, it's sad to see the downfall of Neymar. You know how good he was a few years ago, especially at Barcelona, where I think he should have stayed. You know, he joined PSG for a world record fee, still world record fee today, £200 million. He went there to stand out, get out in Messi's shadow, won the Ballon d'Or, won Champions League, and he didn't do any of that. Messi went over there a few years later, and he just didn't make impact. He missed a lot of games. When he played, he was good, but not Ballon d'Or good at all. So I lost Champions League in 2020 against Bayern Munich in Lisbon, and he did not live up to expectations at all. And it is really sad to see because I do like him. I think he's a very good player, but just injuries, and I think that PSG move was the wrong decision in his career, and he should stay Barcelona. But yeah, good luck to him. I can't see him playing for much longer. Maybe he'll play up to the 2026 World Cup, but I can't see him playing much longer after that. But yeah, it is sad to see the downfall. That's all the players who were confirmed in Saudi Arabia. We have two more. Aymeric Laporte, 29 years old. City have accepted a bid from Al Nassr. The player is waiting to make a decision. And then Alexander Mitrovic, 28 years old. Personally, I don't think either of these should go. I still think they've got a lot off in the Premier League. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. That is my Saudi Arabia video. Tomorrow's video, I'm not sure what it'll be. I think it will be National League Stadiums Ranked. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.